What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jump In and Rant with the Instant Classic B. That's me. Today's a great day because we actually have 4 new segments for today's show. I also want to thank everybody for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to hit that little bell so you know when our new show has been posted. And with that, let's get into it. Welcome to our first new segment called What's Up, Champ? And if you guys watched Monday Night Raw, you would have definitely not seen Seth and Becky as they're on vacation in Hawaii, so there's nothing to report about them. However, with Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, it's still one of the most boring feuds going on today. You know, honestly, it's almost like the same thing over and over again. The only difference is Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston got at it in the very beginning. Kofi ended up getting laid out by Randy, so, you know, it's the same thing every single week. And I honestly, I love Kofi Kingston as a champion. He just needs to be elevated, honestly, and that's kind of what it all boils down to. I mean, you know, he had the momentum just kind of going up and up and up all the way into WrestleMania, and that momentum, you know, obviously being at WrestleMania will kind of keep on going for a little bit, but it's also died down. And, you know, he needs to pick up that momentum a little bit, and it's almost like when he's not really genuine. Like, honestly, like, you hear it, and it's almost like he's trying to speak passionately when he's on the mic, talking about this and that and family and whatnot, but it's almost like he still needs that moment. You know, he needs that moment that puts him over. Yes, he had the moment at WrestleMania. Everyone gets a WrestleMania moment somewhere along the lines, but it doesn't necessarily get them over. You know, it takes time, or they just need something. Like, you know, look at like Becky Lynch. Her moment was the moment that her nose got broken and she kept on fighting. You know, that's what got her over. She said, "I'm still gonna go kick some butt," and that's what she's been doing. So I mean, it's just, he needs that moment. Kofi definitely needs that moment to say that he is a true champion. He is a great champion, that he will go out there and fight. Yeah, he goes out and fights, but he also needs to elevate himself a little bit higher. You know, and I mean, stop me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like when you watch him, you hear him on the mic, it's just, he's missing that little bit, and it's that little bit that will help get him over, and it's just, you know, right now it's doing nothing, because honestly, almost every feud with Randy Orton against anybody else has been awesome. His feud with, you know, Triple H or John Cena were both like iconic. Whether he's facing really anybody, all of his feuds have been awesome. He went and faced Brock Lesnar and, you know, got busted open, but it was still awesome to watch. So he just needs to do something. I don't know what it is that he can actually do. Maybe, you know, put some heart into it, put some actual genuine feeling into it, and not just, you know, this is what I'm supposed to say, so I'm gonna go out and keep saying it over and over again until I believe my own self. But it's just either that, or, you know, someone else needs to take the title. But, you know, it remains to be seen. Night of Champions is coming up, so if Randy takes the title, I mean, honestly, that would just kind of kill Kofi's whole entire championship. But, you know, it does happen. It's WWE, but, you know, yeah. Bayley, she's on the same spot. She needs that moment. And honestly, Bayley, we all know what Bayley needs. Bayley needs to turn heel. That's the only way she's gonna get over. Look at with Becky Lynch. When she became over, she just turned full heel, started kicking some butt, and literally got a punch in the face by Nia Jax, broken nose, bloody everywhere, and still wanted to go fight everybody in Raw. And what'd she do? Just that. And then after that, what'd she do? She went to the back and attacked Ronda Rousey. Holy crap. I mean, come on. If that wasn't her moment, when was it? Because that's the moment that she got over. And everyone was literally on their feet. You know, they wanted to see more of the man, and that's what it all became about. And for some odd reason, they threw Charlotte in the mix for WrestleMania, but, you know, that's just another category in itself. So, but yeah, I mean, Bayley definitely needs to have her moment. She needs to turn heel somewhere, and if it's against Charlotte, great. Night of Champions, best time to actually do it, you know, because she is a champion, and she was out Monday Night Raw, Smackdown. She beat back-to-back. I mean, she beat Lacey Evans. I mean, I was actually just talking before saying how Lacey Evans needs to get back in there, because, I mean, honestly, she's got the looks, you know, she's great in ring. She is awesome on the mic. Her military background just has that voice that literally that says that she's not this little weak Southern girl. The complete opposite. it says I'm just about to whoop some butt as soon as I walk in that ring. This is gonna happen, regardless if she wins or loses. Even if she loses, it doesn't even knock her credibility because she's awesome. She's a very good heel. She does it very well. The words that come out of her mouth, if you tune into her Instagram, it's awesome. Like she is herself, and that's the best part about it. So I always look forward to that. But Bayley, she beat her on Tuesday Night SmackDown, and with Bayley going against Charlotte, that's the win that she needs. But she needs to win it right. She needs to, if she has to win it by cheating, great. And then just go to town on Charlotte, whack her with a chair after the match, after she wins, kind of had that little head in the thing, like, man, I just cheated to win. Maybe I should just kind of go full heel here. Obviously, with the face cheating to win, it's not really a typical face thing to do. And then that would be the slope just to kind of put you over the edge. That way, grab a chair, grab something, and start just whacking her. If we remember when Charlotte turned back heel, it was against Ronda Rousey. She, was picked by Becky to go face, Ronda Rousey, and Ronda won the match, and then, Charlotte went, started hitting her with a chair and going crazy and nuts. I was like, you just did what Becky did, but worse. So maybe that's what Bayley needs to do. So it remains to be seen. But honestly, it is what Bayley needs, because Bayley is awesome in the ring. She's awesome on the mic. She knows what she's doing. She was great in NXT. She was a great NXT Women's Champion too. She's actually held the title for quite a bit. She's had it since WrestleMania. She's former Raw Women's Champion as well. So, if we see Bayley turn heel, that's kind of like, she was always hesitant before because she loves her fans and everything. But I think she is hitting that point where she wants to be that heel. And even becoming a heel, look at Becky Lynch. Everybody loves her. Even though she's a heel, she's also a face. It's that role that you just dominate. It doesn't matter whether you're heel or face at that point. Becky's just kind of like in between. She does whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and however she wants, and that's what works for her. And Bayley kind of needs the same thing. So it remains to be seen. But Night of Champions is happening. That's honestly would be the best time. You're facing Charlotte Flair. If you lose the title to Charlotte, then it's almost like you're just holding the title until the next person got it, which obviously probably would have been Charlotte Flair anyways. So, they fought before, but it's gonna end up happening. The Intercontinental title, you got The Miz and Shinsuke. I hope The Miz kind of gets his title back, because he needs another heel turn too. He was always the best as a heel. Whenever he turns face is usually when he starts to suck. But The Miz is an awesome competitor. But honestly, like, him and Shinsuke, there would actually be a great battle between the two of them, fighting it out for the Intercontinental title. I mean, even if it's like a couple different times, that's fine. But honestly, if y'all watched on Tuesday Night SmackDown, I think everybody either wanted to change the channel or punch Sami Zayn, because he's just annoying. And I mean, honestly, it's great that Shinsuke wants to have someone to speak for him. But why, Sammy? Like, nobody likes Sammy, and it's not that they hate him, they just don't want him there. It's kind of like Baron Corbin, but at least Baron Corbin has the heat for a reason. He's annoying, but kind of like you just want him to go away, but also come back because you still need a heel. Sammy is that heel that you don't want there at all. He's a horrible heel. Baron's a great heel. Sammy's just a annoying little pipsqueak. You just want to either stomp on, kick to the curb, just boot him on his way out. So, but honestly, Shinsuke Nakamura and The Miz would definitely be a match I want to see at Night of Champions. And for the title, awesome. The Miz did a lot for that Intercontinental title, so it needs to be boosted. And I haven't seen Shinsuke really do much for it. He was supposed to face Ali, but what happened there? The match never even took place. I've never even seen it. So, they hyped it for nothing, but it is what it is. And obviously, AJ Styles still has a U.S. title. He was actually facing Braun Strowman for it, but obviously, you knew something was going to happen. You knew he wasn't going to win the title. It would have been great because, you would have seen Braun with the U.S. title going against Seth for Universal. I mean, he could have walked out Night of Champions holding every single title from Raw with the exception of the women's title. and that would have been awesome. I mean, honestly, AJ Styles and him, that was actually a pretty good fight. But honestly, you know, you got to be AJ was being the smarter guy, and he has the OC, and you knew the OC was going to come out, and that's how that ends up happening. But Braun Strowman is going to be facing Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. That whole little inner them two talking, saying, "Oh, you want a shot at my title? Great, cool, awesome." So now we have Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title, which is great. I mean, you face Brock in one pay-per-view, and the next one you're facing another beast, which is Braun Strowman. So honestly, who could ask for a better match between those two? Yeah, they're the Raw Tag Team Champions, but they still want what they want. Braun wants that Universal title, and Seth is the one to give it to him. So by all means, it's Night of Champions actually tuning up to be a great pay-per-view. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Who knows if I'll be doing a show for it or a show after it. I might do something in between. We'll see what happens there. So until next time, let's shoot you over to our next segment. Tag, you're in. And Monday night was amazing for the tag team division. Honestly, you saw you saw the OC Good Brothers get laid out by Braun Strowman, but honestly, it was just fun to watch them get their butts whooped. So yeah, the tag team turmoil match also gave us Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode winning the entire thing. I mean, they went through everybody, and honestly, I like watching new tag teams come together. And Dolph Ziggler, has been doing the same whiny, complaining stuff lately. So putting him with Robert Roode, who is a great competitor, and I honestly love Robert Roode. Whatever Bobby Roode and TNA, and he was awesome. Like, he is honestly amazing on the mic. He knows how to stir a crowd up. He knows how to actually, give respect where respect was due. He's one of those guys that he needed somebody to help bring him up. And honestly, when they paired him with somebody else, it was just wrong. But honestly, with him and Dolph Ziggler, those guys had amazing chemistry in the ring. I mean, it was honestly, it's wrestling, so they were set to win, but their chemistry together was just on point. The two of them, one and the other. I mean, honestly, I thought at the very end they were going to lose to Heavy Machinery, but they did an amazing job. They ended up winning, and now they get to go face Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I mean, what more could two guys ask for? I mean, were not doing too great on the roster, so they elevated themselves together. And that, if you listen to what Dolph was saying, about how there's nobody you can believe in the back, but you just look for that one guy that just wants it more than everybody else, and that was Rude, because Rude deserves it. Rude being put down on like a mid card to nothing is horrible. He was NXT champion. I think he was like 2-time. I'd have to double check, but still, him and Dolph, if they get to capture those titles, that would be awesome, and it not just be like a quick run, like something more dominant, because those guys were great. Kind of like when Dolph and Drew McIntyre were tag champions. Those two were great. Honestly, Drew carried the entire team because he's Drew McIntyre, but Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, there are neck and neck. They're very evenly matched between the two of them. So those two paired together, going to get the titles, becoming actually something great. I mean, look at Sheamus and Cesaro. I mean, Sheamus kind of did everything, on the singles competitor, and then Cesaro is a great tag team guy. I mean, I'm not huge on him in a singles competitor. He's been great, when he was with TJ, but now he was awesome with Sheamus. So it's just he needs another tag team partner too. So the tag team division is definitely where it's at. I mean, the teams that are actually there. We have some great teams in Raw and SmackDown, but honestly, you got New Day hold one set of titles, but then you got Braun and Seth on the other side, which honestly, they're just kind of placement men where they're holding the titles for the next guys. It's not. But I believe that if they're trying to go that route with Dolph and Rude, that those guys would actually form a team, kind of like how Cesaro and Sheamus did, and be an actual fighting, competitive team. So whatever their name is going to be, pretty boys, I don't really care. But they're probably going to be a dominant team. If they do end up being a full-on team, they will have their own thing together, and they'll make some magic. I mean, honestly, we need some good faces, some people that I already have. And there's some good new teams, and that's the bad part. It's a best of both worlds. Like, you see these new tag teams, you know they should get the titles. They're not going to get the titles because they kind of have to pay their due. So it is what it is. But these guys are already known. They're already liked, loved, whoever. People still like heels, and heels are great. So them getting the titles would make sense in WWE. So because that's kind of the way Vince rolls. I mean, if you have a lot of heat, you're gonna get a push. Look at Baron Corbin. He's been getting pushed, to the moon. He doesn't have a title, but he still gets that push because he's got that heat. So, having that said, I think at Night of Champions, when they face Seth and Braun, something's going to happen there. And they're saying they're going to go on after that match. I'm going to guess it's going to be the Raw Tag Team titles before. And we'll see how it plays out. I know, it's going to be that rivalry because they have a match later against each other. Braun's not going to care, but he's going to kind of do whatever it takes to make sure Seth is getting beat up more. And then it'll cost them the actual tag team titles. And you can pretty much quote me on that one because that's how WWE works. I mean, honestly, if you've seen matches for eons, it's just how it goes. So it's just definitely going to be fun to watch. Honestly, you saw Big E, and Woods is out for right now. They don't even have a match scheduled for Night of Champions. So every single title is supposed to be on the line. But if Woods is out because of what the Revival did, then maybe have something cool where the tag team titles for SmackDown have to go to another turmoil match, if that's what and then the winners actually get the titles. That would be kind of cool for Night of Champions. I mean, I don't know if there's room on the card for it. Maybe I don't know. There's many different types of matches. I mean, you could throw a four-way battle. You can even bring it a cage match, and pick out 4 teams. There's not that many tag teams on SmackDown, so just pick whatever teams are there, throw them in the match. Whoever wins gets the titles. Boom, you have new SmackDown tag team champions, and everyone goes crazy because there's new champions, and everybody loves new champions. So women's champions, women's tag team champions, nowhere to be found on SmackDown or Raw. You thought Alexa Bliss would have been in there somewhere, but I didn't see him anywhere. But it's just, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm hoping, since it is Night of Champions, all titles are on the line. Those are the titles, and maybe they might go against the Kabuki Warriors, and Kabuki Warriors will actually get to win this time. But it's we all know the women's tag team champions are. The titles are not that important. They need to raise that prestige because with Bliss and Cross actually defending them, I mean, they're a good team. They are actually, the Bliss is probably the only people that can actually raise the prestige of it, at least right now. So that's probably why they actually made them the tag team champions. So, I'm hoping that at least we get to see the Kabuki Warriors because Asuka and Sane need some TV time, because having them just kind of be in live shows, we don't get to see them because they're in live shows. It's not on TV, so we don't get to go and see it. I mean, if we want to see it, we could just, I guess, watch YouTube videos or old episodes. 2 females that need the attention, that are awesome. Like, I'm on their Instagrams like all the time. So they need their time in the sun. They need to shine. I mean, Nikki Cross is doing great. Bliss is Bliss. She's awesome no matter what she does or where she goes. If y'all got to see her new tattoo on her back, it looks pretty legit. That's pretty cool looking. So, and those tag team titles, they need to raise the prestige for the women's tag team titles because it's cool. And, I like having new titles around. So, we'll see what other things end up happening. So, with that, we're gonna go ahead and leave you to the next segment. So with that, let's go. This is Alternate Universe, and I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think should be happening. It's going to be very short for this segment, and honestly, with Brock Lesnar being out right now, he needs to make an appearance back. Who knows if it can be at Night of Champions. Like I said before, he needs to interfere into Kofi and Randy's match, and bring that to the next pay-per-view, and giving them a triple threat would be awesome. And honestly, Brock Lesnar would end up becoming the champion and kind of laying them both to rest. So that way, if he were to interfere in both Randy and Kofi's match, that would kind of bring it to somewhere else, and kind of bring that into that triple threat. So that way, maybe, down the line after their Kofi's been, or after not Kofi, but after WWE's been on Fox for a little while, and Brock loses the title, Kofi ends up picking it up against whoever the champion may be after Brock. Then Randy kind of comes back like, hey, we have some unfinished business, and then that's how you have that long haul storyline, and that's what brings everything together. I mean, honestly, the storyline is there now. It just kind of sucks. So maybe with this, having the Brock interfere would draw that storyline even further to where we can get away from this boring part, almost act like it never happened, but it happened, but they never had that score settled. And that would be an awesome match to have because Brock's like, yeah, I don't care about storyline. Boom, knock them both out, take the title away from Kofi and Randy. Neither one of them get the title. They're both like, well, damn. So, I mean, honestly, that would be awesome. I mean, as long as, because with Fox, and SmackDown being on Fox, they're going to want Brock Lesnar on there, whether it's once a month, twice a month. They're going to want him on there because they got the money for it. And what better way to have it when you're going to have Brock as a champion? I mean, people that are watching Fox that are new WWE fans are going to want to see someone that they know, and who better than Brock Lesnar? I mean, everyone knows UFC Brock Lesnar. He's been around for a long time, so, he is that go-to guy. They pay him enough money for it, so why not, right? And then, like I was saying before earlier, Bayley beating Charlotte, turning heel, and giving her that moment to shine. She needs that moment like anything else. Being a champion, she's a multiple-time champion. She needs that time. It's been long enough for the hugging and all this other crap. She needs the Bayley that we all need. We need the Bayley that's going to go out there, kick some butt, knock someone in the head with a chair for a change, and not just because of what the match stipulates, but because she's a heel. She needs to be like, I'm tired of this. Boom, snap, ends up hitting Charlotte with a chair, knocking her out. I don't care. Grab a sledgehammer. I don't care. Something big, something great, something metal. I don't care. You can chuck a ladder into her stomach. Something that will just get Bayley over, and everyone will just be like shocked. Because with Bayley turning heel, because of the length of time that she has been, hugger, and she's been that role model, her turning heel it would almost be like Hogan when he turned NWO. It's not, not to that extremes because that was the one that shocked the world, but it would be that thing that it would literally shock the entire WWE universe because you've seen Bayley as the Hulk Hogan. He was she's that baby face the entire time. So for her to go full on heel after this long of a career would be awesome. Everyone would be like, what the hell's going on? But it would be necessary and people would cheer for her. And that would make so much more sense than just her beating Charlotte like a normal match. Like, she's already done that before. We don't need to say the same thing over and over again. Give us something new. If you're going to put the two together, make it monumental. Don't make it the same match as always. Don't make it, oh, she beat her. Yes, it was a great and decent match because Charlotte knows how to do that. Charlotte's that one person in the ring that she knows what she's doing. She knows how to make the match. That person can pure suck. She could choose a jobber female and make the match look awesome because that's what Charlotte does. She's not a 10-time champion because she's horrible, and she's not there just because of her daddy. Yeah, her daddy probably got her the spot on the roster, but her in-ring talent is there. I'm not gonna dock her for it because she's awesome. I'm not a fan of her personally, but she is who she is, and she is pretty awesome. She holds her character very well, and whether she's a heel or a face, she does dominate on both aspects. And she always deserves that respect. And she is the queen. They need the queen of the ring. Maybe next year, who knows? They should do it at the King of the Ring. It would only make sense. Is what it is. Make a King of the Ring pay-per-view. Make a king. Make a queen. Make a tag team kings. Do what you can do. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out with her and Bayley. They have a storyline together. It's not that great, and Bayley needs her spot. Bayley needs that kick, that boost that will help get her over. She's just there with everybody, and it's like you just need to and flip her over. and that's that's gonna be what it all amounts to. If it's just gonna be a normal match and Bayley wins, or even if Charlotte wins and gets her 10th title, who cares? That's not gonna even matter. Even if Charlotte wins, oh great, your 10th time. Who cares? I'm not gonna care. No one else is gonna care. The only person that's gonna care is Charlotte. Oh great, another notch on the belt, in a much shorter time than her dad. you know, that's what's gonna happen. So we'll see how Night of Champions plays out, and if Bayley ends up getting over, I'm gonna say I told you so because that's what she needs. But the way WWE goes, I don't see that happening, but it does need to happen. And I'm not the only one saying this, so I'm sure other people will end up saying the same thing. So we'll go ahead and get to the next segment. So we'll see you next time. Welcome to Focal Point, which is our very last segment for this show. Roman Reigns' story continues, and yet every single time they want to continue with the story, we still have to see everything in its own. That's okay, because I think the story is actually getting pretty good. Honestly, we didn't determine who that old guy was from the other week, but, it is what it is. We also got to see that it was Eric Rowan who in fact did it, and then Daniel Bryan just, snapping. He started hitting Rowan like he was the Bigfoot on Harry and the Hendersons, and the dad was literally telling him, "We don't love you anymore." He kept smacking him, and he's just like, "Okay, I'll go away." It was actually that was part of the funniest part, watching Daniel just smack him, and then go off on a tangent. He's like, Roman, I didn't know." And honestly, Roman didn't care, speared him anyways. So it was definitely it was probably one of the best segments for SmackDown, because honestly the show was like, but it was a good segment watching Bryan just get speared, and he's sitting there just clenching his stomach like crap, and honestly, you knew it was Rowan. I want to see if it was still Rowan that was actually driving the car. Maybe it was Bryan that was driving the car, but it's actually a great storyline because it keeps playing out little by little segment, and as long as it keeps on going, it's gonna be a good story. It's fun to watch. Who that old guy was. I think they just kind of made the mistake, hey, it was this guy, and they're like, what are you gonna do? Beat up some old guy? No one really cares. So it's just, but it's fun, and to see what's gonna happen next week. I hope they just kind of continue it on SmackDown, and they don't kind of bring it into anywhere else, like on Raw or into the pay-per-view. If they do, I mean, obviously, if it leads to the match of it on the pay-per-view, yes, that makes sense. But honestly, it's a good storyline, and that's what WWE needs. They need more storylines just like it, whether it's just as crazy or different. Honestly, you have to keep it fresh. You can't keep doing the same crap every single week. So, and coming up, honestly, with AEW and NXT being, neck and neck every single Wednesday night, maybe it's gonna end up pushing the card for both NXT, AEW, SmackDown, and Raw. So it's a great time to be a fan. I don't know about you, but I mean, it is an amazing time to be a fan. No matter what is happening, we get to see it all unfold. I mean, honestly, when you got to see WWE and WCW go neck and neck every single Monday night, and then they had Thursday Night SmackDown, Thursday Night Thunder, both the shows sucked at the same time. SmackDown was a little bit better. Thunder was just B teams of bullshit. But it is what it is. And it's definitely going to be much better this time. You got NXT stepping their game up. You got AEW bringing full force. Their roster is pretty much stacked. So is NXT. So it's definitely going to be a great time to watch wrestling. I mean, you're going to be watching wrestling almost all week long. And even if you plan on watching AEW and then you get to see NXT the next night on the WWE Network. So it's a win-win situation. I mean, honestly, you could watch Raw on Monday, SmackDown on. I think actually SmackDown's going to Friday nights or Thursday nights. Shit. Yeah, if they end up going to Fridays, then you have the two on Monday and Friday, and you got it right in the middle of the week. You got Wednesday night, so you can watch AEW, and then if you want Thursday, you can end up watching NXT. So you can spread it out throughout the entire week. It's a lot of time to watch TV, man. I gotta get to our regular lives too. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun to watch. I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in, whether you're watching the entire show now or later, whatever the case may be. I definitely appreciate it. Be sure, if you haven't done it already, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell so that way you can tell when our next show is posting. Until then, I appreciate everybody watching. Y'all have yourselves a great day, and I will see you guys next week, every week on Thursdays. Have a great one.